get started. So I want to introduce Rachel Adams Lee that we have for today. She is incredible. She was named in the was it the Wall Street? Oh man, now this is my brain fog kicking in here, Rachel. Wall Street Journal's top 1,000 agents. She was named on there. She also is an author, a teacher, a coach, social media expert, and also has ADHD. And she is absolutely incredible and offered her time and wanted to be here. So I'm going to turn the call over to her to get started. This is recorded. We do have notes. I know some people are on value too. Some people are going to be trickling in. This is live streaming the Facebook group. So we will have all the notes. We have all this for you. And I'm going to turn it over. I didn't want to take up any more of the call because I wanted you guys to get every single minute with her. So yeah, I'm going to pass it over to Rachel. I'll be listening in while I'm at Nashville, the Diana thing. And so Rachel, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to hand it to you now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it was funny because Tyler and I actually saw each other at family reunion, and I told him that I'm like a quiet voyeur in the group and I watch because like I know that I have it, but I hadn't like openly admitted it. But it was like everything I saw about ADHD and easily distracted and one thing to the next. And, like I'm like, isn't that just every realtor? Right. Like I was like, that's just how we are. And then I didn't realize that there was like an actual like title for it. And so there's been like 2 or 3 times where I went to write a post in the group and I deleted it because I was like, no, I'm not ready to admit that I have it. And now I'm like, yeah, I freaking have it. And it's like a superpower. It's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. Like, I think like most successful realtors have some version of it, I believe, because like this is how we can do all the things at the same time. And so I'll just give you guys a little bit of my story. I got into real estate in 2012. So when I got into real estate, I was actually working a full-time job at a real estate office I call it a boutique brokerage, but that's just me being really nice because it was kind of in like a dodgy part of town and there was a shooting at my office like right before I left. So I'm like, it's a boutique brokerage, also stay alive. And so I was working there, and at that point in my life, I was in a super duper unhealthy marriage. My ex-husband was 80% disabled and 50% was PTSD from the Marine Corps. So I spent my days at this real estate office, like, you're going to get your offer accepted. You got this. Cause I was like the front desk manager. And then I spent my nights crying myself to sleep. And it was definitely a very challenging time in my life. And I knew I wanted more, but I also didn't know like what that looked like. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but like my parents never really taught me about like personal growth and like be the best version of yourself and like, the personal growth language. And I'd never heard it before. And so I actually decided I was going to call in sick one day to work because I heard about this class called Bold that was coming to Keller Williams. And I heard a quote that like changed my entire life. And it was change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. And I was like, man, like it's very safe for me. I know how much money I have coming in. Like it was $15 an hour, but it was $15 I can count on. What I never counted on was me. Like what could I actually achieve if I just like went all in with this? But I didn't like where I was at in my life and I knew I needed a change. So I decided to jump into real estate. I will say that having ADHD, like it's hard for me to focus on one thing. And when I got into real estate, I feel like I got my business card and everybody was like, you should do door knocking. You should do open houses. You should work with for sale by owners. Make sure you work with investors. Definitely handle business to business. Like, oh, don't forget to door knock. It was just like so many things at one time. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't focus on anything. Like this is too much. And so for a lot of people, I think they would have just kind of like implode. You're like, I can't do it. Like it's too much. But why I was getting into real estate was bigger than any excuse that I could come up with. Like I had to get out of the life space that I was in. I'm curious in the chat, and I like to keep this interactive. Can you share with me why you got into real estate, if you don't mind? Just like in the chat, share with me like why you decided to get into real estate. Because for me, like it 100% was, I wanted a different life. I wanted financial freedom. Yep, divorce. Hear you, girl. Like I wanted financial freedom. I wanted to believe in myself and I wanted to see like what I was capable of if I actually counted on me. So I jumped into real estate. Everyone's telling me to do all these things. And I was like, it's too much. It's too much. So I decided that I would focus on 2 things: door knocking and open houses. So my first year in real estate, I started in February 2nd of 2012. I door knocked 200 doors every single week, and I did 3 open houses every single week. So knocked 200 doors, did 3 open houses, and I didn't sell any homes for my first 4 months. So you can imagine, I questioned my life choices. I'm like, should I not be in this industry? Like, this is crazy. What did I just decide to get into? And the funny thing is, my grandma was a realtor. My dad was a realtor for 42 years. And I said I would never, ever go into real estate. I don't know if there's any other real estate kids here. But I decided that I was gonna just really focus. And so I didn't sell any homes for the first 4 months. But I think about my business almost like a toy car, right? So here's the toy car, and you're like doing the right thing, doing the right thing, doing the right thing. There's no momentum, like nothing's happening, but that tension is building. Those good choices were building, like my results were compounding. And then when I let go of that car, the car shot away and took off, and so did my career. So even though I didn't sell any homes for the first 4 months, I was able to sell 39 houses that first year, and then 109, and then 123. So 3 years in, that's when I hit Wall Street Journal's top 1,000 agents in the country. We still have that designation today. I want to be totally transparent with you guys though. Like, I'm going to walk you through this whole process, and it's going to sound super shiny and super fun. I literally considered getting out of the business last year. I don't know if anyone else had that kind of a year, but like, I last year kicked my butt pretty hard. I have had we'll get into the social in just a second, but just to kind of like close a loop for you. I've had 3 kids in the last 4 years. I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And I also have had 4 miscarriages. So we've had a lot of loss. We've had a lot of grief. We've had a lot of like fertility medications in me. Like, it has been such a like beast of a season to like create this family. And last year I had 2 of my top agents, an 8-year and a 10-year agent, leave the team. And I'm a relationship person. So when somebody leaves my team, like, it's very hard to not um take it personally, right? Like, if anyone builds a team like I have. And so it really took, I just was like, what am I doing? Like, so I'm also a real estate coach. I teach people how to build a business through social media and like really be authentic, which you guys will kind of get from my vibe. I like to tell you how it is, because I think there's too many agents that are like, look at me, I'm so incredible, look at how many houses I've sold. And it's like, it's freaking messy, and relationships are damaged sometimes. And like, I mean, I had multiple months where I wasn't profitable, and that sucks. That really sucks, right? To be working as hard as we do. But then, yeah, Jody and I are buds. She knows how hard this year was. Gosh, like, but the thing is, what keeps me going is knowing how beautiful this business can also be, and like helping people with the biggest financial decision they'll ever make in their life, and they're trusting us. And so, I decided last year, we had a pivotal moment where we decided we would either give up, and I would just focus on my coaching, and I would let go of my real estate team. But the thing that would be crazy about that is we get over 100 referrals every year through social media. And I built this whole thing for 12 years, right? And it's this animal that kind of moves by itself often, from the social media side of things. And so I was like, that would be crazy to let it go. But what is my solution? So we ended up partnering with an organization called Place, which you can ask me about later. But from that, what I will tell you is I 100% had to relook at how I was showing up. Leaders lead by example, and I had stopped leading. I was very caught up. My goal was to be a wife and a mom. I've always wanted to be one. So that was my priority. But I took the foot off the gas pedal on my real estate team, on my personal production, on showing up at the office. I think I got pandemic lazy, where I was just like, man, it's really nice to work from my pajamas and not have to shower today. Like, I'm gonna do that, right? But then you're like, ah, crap, how's my business going to keep running? And so I had to relook at like how I showed up. I had to like literally, I went back to the drawing board. So my beginning of my career, I also called expireds and for sale by owners. I have so I think part of having the ADHD is like it's very easy to be like, ooh, distracted, right? So I'm old school. I took a poster board, like a trifold poster board. They sell them at Target. I was so excited to find out that I didn't have to cut them myself, and they actually make trifold poster boards now. It's changed since the 80s. And I put the scripts on my poster board, all my scripts. So I'm blocked out. The only thing I can see is my scripts. And when I dial, guys, I'm standing in front of my scripts dialing. Even like scripts are my favorite thing. I know that scripts might sound weird and awkward. And I will tell you that the reason they feel awkward is because it's not your words. It's someone else's words that you didn't write and you don't say. But the first year when I didn't sell any houses for the first 4 months, do you know what I did 7 days a week? I script practiced. 7 days a week, I script practiced because I was like, if I can master the script, then take a deep breath and put my own personal spin on it. That's where the good stuff happens, right? And so like you ask me about a price objection handler. You ask me about the interest rates. You ask me about why, like, I want to wait till my perfect house comes in the market. Any freaking objection you give me, I'm going to overcome it. And we can do that when we do Q&A. Anything you guys like this, I told Tyler, like I would walk through the social media model with you, and then we're going to do some Q&A. No question's a silly question. Nothing is off limits. I help people build their business in all the ways. And so what you'll notice though is like, you'll hear when I talk to you guys, a lot of times I touch my heart. If you are telling me that you want to hold off putting your home on the market till the right house comes up, do you want to know what I'm going to say to you? I totally understand how you feel. In fact, if I was going to buy another home, I'd probably want to wait till the right house came on the market because it's a lot of work to put your home on the market and get in that process of being in the seller mindset. But you know what's even worse than that? The right home comes on the market, your dream home comes on the market, and you miss out on it because the other person that was in line to buy that property had all their ducks in a row. And maybe they needed to sell in order to purchase too, but their house was on the market. And a seller is much more likely to accept an offer of somebody who's on the market than someone who's just thinking about being on the market. The last thing I want, right? So you're just hearing me walk through it with them. But again, I always touch my heart because this is how I talk in real life. It's how I talk with my clients, with my scripts. But I've said them so many times that it doesn't feel uncomfortable and it doesn't feel awkward. I'm just like, this is who I am. Mariah is asking, do I have some favorite scripts I can share? I have a YouTube channel. It's totally free. I have my top buyer objection handlers on my YouTube channel. If somebody can type it into the chat, but if you go to YouTube/Rachel Adams Lee, that would be super helpful. And then if you go there, you can have some of my best objection handlers. And then also another thing, we'll go through this because I'll walk through a couple ideas with you. But if you guys send an email to thegoods@racheladamsleegroup.com, thegoods@racheladamsleegroup.com, it's going to give you back a bunch of different videos and things that I've done that I think will just be beneficial for building your business. You don't have to do it now. You can do it later. I'm the kind of person where I have to do it now or I'll forget to do it later. So I'd be like, hi, I'm emailing you right now. Otherwise it's never going to happen. They say if you want to get something done, give it to someone busy. Hi, I'm busy. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and we're going to jump into social media for a bit. Okay. And like I said, no question's a silly question. So if there's something that I talk about that you guys want to know more about, I'm going to say we can do Q&A at the end, or if you're like, no, I need to know right now, you can just unmute yourself. We can be real friends and just pretend like this is a combo. Okay. I'm going to present my screen. I'm going to pull up the chat so I have it in case you guys need to ask me anything.
What was the email, Rachel? We had that. I'm going to type it in the chat.
Let me type it in. So it's
Okay.
thegoods@racheladamsleegroup.com.
And this is incredible, by the way. Like, I almost feel tearing up. We're so grateful for you. I just want you to know that. Yeah.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I'm so happy to help. I have like 11 different classes that I teach. And if you guys look at them and you're like, we want this one, I'm so happy to come back and share with you guys. Cause I feel like this is such a special group. Like, I think the fact that people have like a safe space now to be like, hey, I have this. And sometimes I struggle with the script, or sometimes I struggle with, time blocking. Like, time blocking is such a masterful thing to be able to figure out in real estate. And a lot of us struggle with it. I happen to marry a mechanical engineer who like knows how to rein in my crazy and like make me like be able to handle this a little bit better. So any tools that I've learned along the way, I'm so happy to share with you guys. All right. Are we ready for some social? We doing it? Okay. All right, so this is my super cute fam bam. We have Henry, who's 4, Harrison, who is now 2, and Hayden, who's 1 year old, and my super hot husband, Ryan Lee, which if you guys follow me at all, you'll know that I'm completely obsessed with him. We did meet on Tinder. Swipe right. If you think it doesn't work, it does work. I will help you write your bio. It is not just a hookup site. It can be. It wasn't for me, not at least till the seventh date. I was a good girl. Okay, too much information. Let's continue. Okay, so I feel like for some reason with you guys, I can be way more honest than I have been in like any other setting. So we're just gonna take it there. You're welcome, and I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see what else. Yeah, so I top agent. I run 4 6 and 7 figure businesses. Real estate's a 7-figure business, but you know what? All of my businesses I run through social media. So I run the real estate team. So I'm in Northern California. Send your referrals. I'm in Northern California, and I'm still in production, so I'm the lead listing agent on the team. However, oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. So I'm the lead listing agent, so I'm still in production. Then I have a coaching business where I coach realtors how to build a business through social media. Then I have a public speaking business, so I usually do this in market centers. And then I also have an anti-aging hair care and skincare company, because why the heck not? Okay. So, oh, sweet, you're an Aggie. I love it. Okay. So, yeah, I think the thing that's really cool about real estate to me is that real estate, it to me is like the platform that has helped me do everything else I wanted to do. Like getting to dig into real estate, and when I got into real estate and I was doing all this lead generation and having this success, at my local office, people were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll tell you." So I taught a class in my local office. And then I taught a class 30 minutes away and 60 minutes away. And then truth be told, my speaking career launched because I accidentally did not pay attention to what I was doing, and I booked like, do you remember when Mega Camp used to be agent and leadership? Well, I was not paying attention to what I was doing, and I bought leadership. So I showed up at leadership camp as an agent and was like, ah, crap. And my team leader was like, just come hang with me. And so I hung out with all these team leaders and started to share my story. And then here we are. I spoke in 32 offices last year. So, sometimes things like, I honestly feel like sometimes having ADHD is like a superpower, because I was distracted and not focused and just was like, boop. And then I booked the wrong place, but it ended up being for the right reason. So I think that but the bottom line is like, I showed up. You're not going to get opportunities if you don't show up, right? Whether it's with social media, open houses, door knocking, dialing, you're not going to get an opportunity if you don't show up. I showed up, even though I booked the wrong Mega Camp to go to, I still showed up for it. I'm showing up for you guys right now. My team knows that they can't knock on the door, though I guarantee you somebody will, because I'm here focused on you guys right now. And so for 1 hour, you're my focus. But then as soon as I'm done with you guys, I'm done here. Hopefully we're all gonna be besties on social, but then I'm gonna go pick up my kid. And that's like my most important activity. And so I think like it's so easy to be distracted. And so what I've learned is like, I've got to be super present where I am when I'm there. So if I'm right here focused with you guys, this is my activity. And I don't feel guilty like I'm not being a good mom right now. A lot of people feel really guilty about that, because I'm not supposed to be with my kids right now. I'm supposed to be working. These are my work hours. But when I go home, I'm not going to be on my phone, because that's my work time with my kids, unless I'm taking video of them to post a reel, because that's obviously a highest and best use of my time also. But like, I really do believe that you should be focused on where you're at right now. Like, be where your feet are. If your feet are right here, then that's where you are right now. Okay, so let's talk about social. When I decided that I wanted to build a business through social media, it was because I told you guys like my goal was always to be a wife and a mom, right? And I knew that I could not knock 200 doors and do 3 open houses every single week and still pick up, like care for a newborn and do all of that. And I wanted to be a really good present mom, right? And so what I decided to do is pivot, and I decided I would focus on social media. Now, when I did that, it's 2015 social media. I got like me and Tom were best friends on Facebook, right? We all had, or no, Tom was MySpace. Was he MySpace? I am aging myself, you guys. Tom was MySpace. Okay, so I had MySpace, then I got Facebook, and I think too, there's a lot of pressure to be everything to everyone all the time on social. And so you're like, okay, well, I have to have TikTok, I have to have Snapchat, I have to have Instagram, I have to have Facebook. And you've like, I definitely feel like I have this urge to always want to be everything to everyone all the time. Last year I got therapy for people pleasing to release being a people pleaser because it was like ruining my life. And then this year is my year to release comparison. I think it's totally healthy to be in therapy. I think there's no shame in it. I just talked to my girl yesterday. We're having some parenting issues with my 4-year-old and I was struggling with it. If you guys follow me on social, you know that, and you probably sent me really awesome advice. So thank you for loving on me and my fam. But you know, I realized going through this journey of wanting to get into real estate that I had to find a lead gen leg that I could work around my schedule. And when I decided I was going to focus on social media, I realized most people said realtors were slimy. They were like about how much money they could make and how many houses they could sell. And I was like, but wait a second, like, isn't this about helping people make the biggest financial decision they'll ever make in their life? Like, this is about helping people. And so I was like, I want to help people. I want to add value to people. Why do people think we're slimy? And it was because every realtor on social was like, look at my award I just got. Look at my houses and he sold. Look at blah, 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 blah. And you're like, hi, you're gross. Like, if you're going to take notes, I want you to write this down. People might find you because you're in real estate, but they're going to stick around because of who you are and how you make them feel. Okay. People might find you because you're in real estate, but they're going to stick around because of who you are and how you make them feel. And so I like to be super intentional that every time I log on social, I'm like, how can I add value to others? How can I brighten someone's day? How can I make their world better? Right. And so I decided that I was going to start to build a business through social. And what that looked like for me is I started on Facebook. And I got really intentional with posting. This is before Reels were cool. So we'll talk. Well, I'm going to give you like a 9-step social media model for how you build a business through social. And then if we have any time, so we can dig into like the real side of things and all of that. Okay. But why is social media important? Well, because that's where our audience is. That's where your audience is. Your home buyers, your sellers, right? Your future referral partners, realtors around the country. Guys, they're on social. Now I focus on 2 types of referrals, those 100 referrals I talked about. We have agent to agent referrals. So all of you right here, we are agents. We should be connected with each other. We should know the areas that each other serve. So when, not if, when we have a referral for our area, we can give it to each other. I am such a big believer in helping people build their businesses for free. And then when they have a referral in my area, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I want to send this to Rachel. She helped me. Right. So I want you to think about if you have like a difficult appraisal you get through or something that you did that you learned.
I'm gonna go home and work
Hey
on
guys,
it.
I'm going to mute you.
So, well, if not, just let me
Oh, I
know.
can't mute you.
But
Christina, can you mute
I'll
yourself,
just
honey?
remove forward.
Okay. Can anyone mute her?
Well, you know what?
Do we
Here,
have like,
I'll figure it out. Hold on a
okay,
second.
okay,
Yep. Okay.
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It was two
Okay.
page.
So yeah, so with social, like the whole idea is that companies are taking their money off of they're taking their money away from magazines and TV and they're putting it on social media because that's where their audience is. They're doing boosted ads through Instagram, right? And that's where your audience is as well. So social media is important. And if you're not doing it, you're going to get left behind in real estate. I truly, truly believe that you have to have a presence on social. Now, I do think that you need to not have omnipresence. You don't need to have a presence on every single platform. I want you to pick 1 or 2 and dive deep. I started on Facebook, guys, and when I got that dialed, I then launched my Instagram channel. When I got that dialed, I then launched my YouTube channel. Those are the 3 that I use. Like, I don't focus on all the rest of them because that's not where my business comes from. When Clubhouse came out, do you remember that was like hot for a second? And everybody's like, you got to get on Clubhouse. It's amazing. It's going to change your life. Nope. Distraction. Threads. Nope. Distraction. I see all of that as a distraction. And with what we have to deal with, guys, we have to eliminate as many distractions as we can because we are fighting it every dang day to stay focused on our task at hand. And so I like to be really, really intentional with not trying to do too many platforms at one time. Now, the goal with social, you're either educating or entertaining. You're either educating people or you're entertaining people. There are 2 options that you're going to do. And I highly believe that those are that's it. You're either educating people or you're entertaining them. And if you look at my social media, you will notice that I entertain in the video. So in my pictures that I take when I do a static post, when I do a reel, which a reel is a short form video, it's usually 90 seconds or less. The better producing ones, honestly, are closer to like 10 seconds, to be transparent with you. And if we have time, I'll show you a couple like higher producing reels that I do, and we can walk through some of that to give you some ideas. But the idea is like, if you're, think about how quick you're on your phone and you're going like this, you're scrolling. Do you know how long you have to actually capture someone's attention? 2 seconds. It's 2 seconds, guys. You have 2 seconds to stop the scroll and grab someone's attention. So your hook, your topic has to be dang good, and it has to be sexy. It's got to be so good that it stops people and they're like, oh, wait, I want to see that. Wait, what is she talking about? And so one thing that I will tell you is remind me about my freebies, because I have some really good hooks that I can give you guys for social that will be really pivotal. But when I do a video, I entertain in the video and then I educate in the caption. So if I can kind of show you what I mean. So if you guys grab your phone, I know this is weird that you're allowed to grab your phone in social or in a class, but grab your phone and go to Instagram. And I want you to type in Rachel Adams Lee. I'm gonna give you we're gonna do 2 things right here. 2 things that are gonna be really important. First thing you're gonna do, I want you to look at my bio right here. I want you to think of your bio as your virtual business card. Now, you're going to be starting to do these awesome posts because we're going to go through some ideas with you. And you're going to have people that are like, oh my gosh, like, I wonder what Brandon's about. Like, well, let me tell me about Kim. Wait, Christina or Tyler, right? And they go on your page. Does your page at the very first line say your name and that you're a realtor? Does the second line say the area that you serve and have some credibility? You don't see that I'm a wife and a mama till 4 lines down on my bio. Guys, you've got to tell them immediately who you are and the area you serve. If you're a realtor and you want to build a business through real estate, then have your platform look like a business card. So your very first line should say your name and that you're a realtor. Your second line is some credibility and the area that you serve. You could actually have your second line just be the area you serve, and then your third line be credibility. And like when I was a new realtor, I didn't have the sales behind me. So like when I was knocking those doors, I was like, last month alone, my company sold 86 houses in this neighborhood. Did I sell a single one? No, I didn't even know how to do a listing presentation, but there's always a way you can have an effective script and have the confidence behind you if you have the skills and you know like how to overcome the objections and add the value to the people, right? And then my fourth line down is when I do personal. I talk about being a wife and a fit mama of 3 boys. I recently am down 46 pounds in the last 5.5 months. I decided that I was finally going to take charge of my health and make my health and myself a priority. And so I added fit working mama instead of just being a working mama of 3 boys. And then I have my call to action. A call to action is really, really important because you tell your people what to do. My call to action is you can click here for coaching and freebies, but for other people, you could say like, click here to find out how much your home is worth, and you link it right to your website to get a home valuation. Or it could be like, click here for your free home buyer guide, right? Like all of that stuff can be super, super helpful for you. So the next thing I want you to do is I want you to look at, let's see, I'm going to look at some examples. Well, okay, you can do this on your own time, but later on when you go back to my page, I want you to look at some of my reels, some of my videos. You'll notice that most of them are about 7 seconds long, 7 to 10 seconds. And what you'll notice is the hook on the video. So if you go to look at reels, like you go to the thing and you go to this middle part right here, this middle button, and it's going to go to the reels. Like it says, I can think of 178 reasons not to post this. If you ever think about real estate, let's play a little game. What if, where's another one? This is going to sound weird, but these are all hooks. These are all hooks that grab your attention and you want to see what it's about. And then when you look in the body of the video, like the post below it, the caption, that's where I educate people. That's where I position myself as a real estate expert. I had one of my reels that was shared 438,000 times. And it was 7 seconds of me walking towards the camera and smiling. And over it, I talked about 4 things that depreciate in value over time. And then the one thing that appreciates value. And I said real estate. And it was shared like 28,000 times. Like it went crazy. And in the body, it was a 7-second video. And I talked about how, like, I think I said like acai bowls don't appreciate over time. People got real feisty that I was like talking crap about acai bowls. But the thing was, like, it got people's attention, and then in the body of it, that's where I position myself as the expert, and that's where I teach them about real estate. People might find you because you're in real estate, right? But they stick around because of who you are and how you make them feel. This is a relationship-based business. I want to build relationships with people. And then, by the way, I just happen to sell houses. I always want to build the relationship with them first. But a lot of times in our industry, they find us because we're a realtor, but they stick around because of who you are, what you're about, right? And so I want you to think, like, how are you going to add value to other people? Now, let's dig into the algorithm for a little bit, because I feel like people, if I ask you guys what the algorithm is, do you guys know what it is? Can you share with me? You guys can unmute yourself real quick if you want. Does anyone know what the algorithm is?
So the algorithm is like the system behind it that keeps showing you stuff that you like or comment on. So
Yeah.
it's honing in on what you like
Yeah,
and shows you more.
absolutely. The goal of any social media platform, thanks Jody, it's to keep you on the platform as long as humanly possible. So if you're interested in golden doodles, it's going to give you ads for golden doodles. It's going to show you videos of golden doodle puppies. It's going to show you the latest toys, right? Like, it wants to keep you on the platform. The thing is, how are we in real estate the thing that people want to see? Like, not that many people are like, let me see what every realtor in Northern California is doing and what they're interested in. That's not how it works, right? So it's important that you talk about more than just selling houses, because you want to have something in common with your people. They're going to want to work with you because of who you are and how you add value to them and how you show up. And so when I think about the algorithm, I like to break it down. And you are rewarded by the algorithm for, like, how often you're on the platform, but also how you use it. So I want you to think of the algorithm like tools. You can make a post, you can comment on something, you can like something, you can do a reel, you can send an audio message, you can send a direct message. Like, I just named 7 different things. All of those are tools. The more tools that you use on a platform, the more eyes you're going to see on your content, right? So you really want to be using all the different tools, but how exactly do you do that? So let's break down the model. Let's truly talk about how we can build a business through social media. And again, no question's a silly question. I'll try to have some time at the end for Q&A, but we're going to dig in. So real estate is a relationship-based business, right? We just happen to be in the business of buying and selling houses. So I want you to build the relationships. I want you to build this connection with your people, and then they're going to want to do business with you because of who you are and how you show up. So the first thing you're going to do is, I want everyone to write down 1 through 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to have 5 different things that you can talk about on social media. I want you to think of these as your pillars of content. These 5 different things, or if I asked you about any of them, you could talk for 5 minutes without taking any notes or prepping for it, because it's something you're passionate about. Number 1 for every one of you is going to be real estate. It's the industry that you're in. It's the job that you have, unless you're a lender or you're in title or whatever you're in, right? But like, real estate is our industry. So you're going to write down real estate. And then 2 through 5 is going to be different for every person. Okay. So 2 through 5, who are you? What makes you tick? Like, why would somebody hang out with you on the weekend? I know for me, I have real estate and being an entrepreneur. I've got my husband and my kids because they're my favorite. I have positive body image, and now I'm adding into that my health journey that I'm on right now. I have personal growth. I really am always working on being like the best version of myself, and so I kind of lump in like healthy marriage in there as well. I have multiple streams of income because I believe in that, right? So I have different things that I talk about that I'm really passionate about sharing with other people. Do you know that my real estate posts are still my lowest producing posts? Like, most people, when you make a real estate post, is it kind of crickets? It's like, look at the house I just sold. And you know who likes it first? Your mom. Your mom's like, good for you, honey. Like, super proud of you, right? But like, our real estate posts are our lower producing posts, but that's okay. Because guess what, guys? It's what you do. It's not who you are. It's what we do. It's okay that it's our lower producing post. What matters is the consistency in which you post real estate versus your other content, which we'll dig into in just a minute. So if you guys are brave enough, in the chat for me, why don't you share your 5 pillars of content? If you know what they are, go ahead and do it. I will tell you that like real estate is going to be one of yours, and they're different for everybody. If you're stuck and you're like, man, I can come up with like 3, I don't know what my other 2 are. One that is awesome to add in is like hotspots, local hotspots. And what that can be is like date night locations, dog parks, like walking trails, like just hot spots within your local community. Those are a really good one to do. Okay, we got real estate, motherhood and marriage, sobriety, personal growth. I love that for you. Military support. Those are so good. Carissa, those are really, really good. Emily's ADHD. Yep. Community, spotlighting community, rescue dogs. These are awesome, you guys. Second marriage, been there, done that. Never doing it again. Love my favorite one. Single mom on a budget. So good. And you guys, the thing about this is, say that you're stuck and you're like, man, I just really wish I had a post I could do today. I have no inspiration. Take one of these topics and put it into Instagram in the search bar, and you're going to see hundreds and thousands of people that are coming up with posts in related to your topic. That's going to give you inspiration. Whenever I'm stuck and I don't know what to post, I do what's called R&D. I rip it off and I duplicate it and I make it my own. And you're super welcome to do that with my stuff, because I feel like that's like fun, you know? I really, really like to make, like, one of my things is like, I like to have people feel better when they were around me than before they were with me. That's like always one of my goals. And so it's the same thing on my social platform. I want to leave them feeling good, inspired, motivated. They've learned something, right? I want to educate them or entertain them, but I always want to deepen that relationship. And when you guys get really intentional with these topics, these are the things that are going to get your people loyal to your platform. You're building a community of followers and friends, and people work with people they like. People work with people they like, and they like you. A lot of my reels that do the best are my funny ones. They're not my serious ones. Like, I just did one earlier today, and I made my husband slow dance with me in our office for like a couple seconds because we had a really hard week last week. And he always says to me, it's us against the problem. It's us against the problem. Because I am a control freak. And so a lot of times when there's an issue, whether it's a work issue or a kid issue or a personal issue, I tend to like shut down and try to like, I can do this. I can figure this out myself. And then I stress. I get sick to my stomach, and I lose sleep because I'm trying to solve the issue. And he's like, babe, it's us against the problem. Like, I'm in this with you. Don't shut me out. And so I talked about that today. That was one of my reels today. It was a little longer. It was 24 seconds, but I educated in the caption about like what it means to me. Mitty said, do we only have to limit to 5 pillars, or can you post more than 5? You can post more than 5. I think the thing is, like, it's really easy to like lose out on the consistency when you're like hopping you're like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go here. In my mind, I post 5 days a week, whether it's a reel or a post. And so, which I'll talk about that with you in a sec. And so I like to have 5 pillars of content, and I just simply rotate through them. And your audience is going to show you what they want from you, because you're going to get more interaction, more comments, more likes, more shares when they're interested in it. It's going to tell you what's up. Yes, this is being recorded. It's also streamed live in the group. And then, the recording sent via email. That's fancy, you guys. One of your admins on top of it. When should you post? I want you posting first thing in the morning. The reason for that, honestly, is that if you post first thing in the morning, you have the most amount of time for people to respond throughout the day. Now, I'll be honest, I would wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I'd grab my phone and I'd start scrolling. And I'd see like the mom who just made her kids handmade lunch and wrote the love note. And I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And then I see someone else who just got off the treadmill, and I'm like, oh, good for you, and should be doing that. And then I see someone else who like, just sold their 100th house, and it's like April or March. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so behind for the day. I'm still in bed. And then I wake up feeling like crap, and I'm judging myself harshly against the other people and how successful they are and all the things they're doing. You got to have a boundary around that. because it's no fun to wake up and feel bad about yourself. Like, you just woke up, give yourself a dang break, right? So what I do is I will try to prep. The reason I have those 5 topics is I will look through and I'll be like, okay, what do I have going on this week? On my real estate team, everyone who joins my team has to sign a social media addendum that they're going to post 3 times a week. One time is their real estate, one time is a real estate post, and then they do 2 personal posts. Now we also provide a weekly reel to our real estate team where I take like a trending reel in real estate and I edit it. They have to record it for me, but I edit it. I put on the captions, the hashtags, the geo hashtags, the trending audio, like the whole thing. And so my agents are actually showing up 4 times on social media, but what I do is like, I make my posts the day ahead. So I use an app and I'll put it in the chat called Google Keep. Google Keep. Oops, can't spell Google. I use Google Keep, and that's where I prep my posts. So I don't have to think too much in the morning of what I'm going to post because I prepped it the night before. For me, that works really well. So like before my day is done, I know what I'm going to post the next day. That way I don't wake up and feel stressed. Do you ever have those days where you're like, I have to post on social? Oh, I haven't posted in a few days. Like I've got to do this. Like that doesn't feel good to have to do it. And when I feel like I have to show up, that's when I don't show up. Because I want it to be something that I want to do. I want social media to be fun for me and not something I feel like I have to do. And so, if you guys need more help with it and stuff, I do have like social media audits and things like that that I can do with you too. But we don't have time here for that. So what I do is I will make my post first thing in the morning. And then an hour later, I go in. So I make a post first thing in the morning. So I hit one of the tools, right? An hour later, I go back in, I like, I comment, I engage, I connect with those, with the people who commented on my post. And then an hour before the end of the day, I go back in and I connect one more time. So 3 times a day I'm on social. The reason that it's 3, and you might be like, oh, 3 is a lot, but think about how often you're unconsciously on social media. It's probably like 15, 16, 20 times a day because you grab your phone and you just instantly go to social because you're not even thinking about it. Intentional time on social media is so much more powerful than just like messing around or like scrolling, because like I've had times where I'm like, oh, I'm just going to see what my friends are up to. And 2 hours later, I'm like watching cat videos on YouTube and I don't know what happened in my life. And now I'm late for a showing and I have to eat a bagel in the car. And I'm like, oh, like it's crazy. It's a downward spiral. So you have to be really, really intentional with your time on social. Let's see. How do I check for trending audio on Reels? So when you are on a Reel, there is, if you click on the music, which is on the bottom left side of the bottom left side of the video, you can click on this song and it will tell you if it is if it's on a reel that you're scrolling on, it's likely trending because people are pulling trending audio. But the most simple way to do it is when you click on the audio, there's a little arrow on the bottom left corner that's pointing up. That means it's trending. There are specific amounts of trends, like there's a number, an ideal number that you want to be within with trends, but that's kind of more advanced. I'd say for now, just look for that arrow that's pointing up. And if you see the arrow that's pointing up on the bottom left corner of the reel, that means it's trending and it's more likely to push your reel in front of a new audience. The goal is to get you not just in front of your followers, but new followers as well. Because we went from 11,000 followers on Instagram to right now we're at I don't know, 25,000 or something like that. But we're about 60,000-ish for my different platforms. And my growth, I 100% attribute to being aware of how to use trending reels and the audio and my hooks and my hashtags. Like that's the stuff that's really important. Jennifer says Android is on the right side and has a flame symbol. Jennifer James, I cannot help you with that Android, girl. I can help Apple users, but if you're an Android user, you and my husband are sweet, sweet, crazy people, and it can't help you. It's like that one thing in our home that we like cannot agree on. How do I choose hashtags? I have a slide in here for hashtags, Erica, so I promise we'll get to that, okay? All right, so 80-20 principle. So how much are you posting personal and how much are you posting business? So in 2022, we had 131 referrals come through social media. 131 referrals. Every single one of those guys came to my personal page. So I'm going to talk to you about needing a personal versus a business page in just a sec. But what I will tell you is that all of them came to my personal page, and you want to have an 80-20 principle. 80% of what you post is personal. It's who you are, it's what you're doing, it's what you're eating, it's what you're reading, it's what makes you tick as a person. Only 20% is going to be business. Only 20%. But do you want to know an awesome business post that you guys can make? You can literally take a screenshot of what you're doing right now, and you can say like, hung out with the ADHD group today and got to learn from a top agent in the country how she got over 100 referrals through social media. If you want to copy my notes, leave your email below. Like, I want to help you build your business. This is you taking a screenshot of this and sharing that with your audience. Guys, that's a business post. It doesn't have to be the house you sold. It does not have to be the house you sold. It literally can be you talking about strengthening your skills and making yourself grow in your business. And you're right now sitting down to educate yourself on how you can be a better realtor through social media. There are local business owners who would want to know about that. There's other realtors around the country who want to know about that. And the local business owner is that real good one because they're the one person with that huge sphere of influence around them. And when you're the realtor adding value to that business owner, they're going to want to thank you when they have a referral that I can send your way. Does that make sense to you? Like, you want to add value to people, whether you're educating them, entertaining, giving them notes. Like I went to see Oprah one time and I got to meet her. The picture is in my house right now. But when I got to meet her, I took notes. And when I got to see Sarah Blakely live and take a picture with her, I took notes. And then what do? I posted on my social and I'm like, hey, I had this experience and I take good notes. If you want a copy of my notes, then you're welcome to come to my, leave your email below. And the thing is, like, when you're constantly adding value to people, they want to be in your world. They want to hang out with you. They want to connect with you. Like, that is what they want. So do you need to have a business page or a personal? I want you guys to have both. 100% you need to have both, but this is for Facebook specifically. Facebook, if you Google Rachel Adams Realtor, my business Facebook is going to pop up, not my personal page, because that's where I can boost an ad. That's where I can boost a listing. Google loves your money and they're going to push that for you. But if you type in Rachel Adams Realtor, do you know what's our Rachel Adams Lee Realtor? You're going to see my Instagram page pop up. You're going to see my business Facebook page pop up. My business page is there for validity and credibility. That is branded to my business. There's reviews on there. There's testimonials on there. But my personal page is where all those referrals come from. So it is important to have a business page for credibility, but I don't want you spending a bunch of time or effort or energy or money on your business page because your personal page is so much more important. On Instagram, I have my personal page. And I have the 80-20 principle. 80% of what I post is personal, 20% is business. You look at my social media, you guys know that I'm a realtor. It says it on the very top line of my page, but I focus on the things that make me me. And that's where people connect with me. And that's okay if your real estate posts are not as higher producing. So what you'll notice is like my personal page, it's got pictures of my baby's little feet and his booty because it's cute, right? Like, that's a personal page. A business page is branded. It's got a headshot. Like, you can very clearly see the difference between those two, right? And they should be able to see the difference on yours as well. How often are we posting? Okay. So if you want to build a business through social media, we're getting comfortable now. If you guys want to build a business through social media, 5 to 7 times per week. But that is posts, that is reels, that is carousel posts, that's all of it. Stories are different. Stories are really important for people to get to know you behind the scenes. Everybody wants to feel like they actually know you. And I will say that my posts are much more well thought out. They're like curated. I've like tried to, fix spelling errors, but half the time I put a word out there and it's the wrong word and my husband has to like edit it for me. He's like, "Did you mean that?" I'm like, "Nope." Helpful to have the engineer husband on social media for me because half the time I put something, I don't know, even yesterday, like I do all the time. I move quickly and I post it and then he's like, "Hey babe, that doesn't make sense." I'm like, "Noted." And then I get to go back and change it, but that's who I am. And it's done, it's out there. So I'd rather it be out there and not perfect than like, how many of you don't post because you want it to be perfect? Does anybody feel like that? Like, you don't post because you want it to be like polished? Yeah, a lot of people have that fear, or they don't do video because they're like, "I don't like the way I look," or "I don't like the way that I sound." I'm like, guys, this is how you look. This is how you sound. This is your face. Like, people are friends with you for a reason, right? But yes, you want them to see the real you. They want them to authentically know who you are. It was funny because going on this like weight loss journey that I'm on, I was working super hard at my nutrition and I lost like 20 pounds and then I kept going and I for some reason, like, even though I was super proud of myself, I didn't share it with people. I didn't share it with them till I had lost like 40 pounds. And then I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I did. And I don't know why I felt like hesitant to share, because I'm so open about sharing everything else in my life. But I waited, and it was like I wanted to like feel a certain way or look a certain way. And then I realized like the messy is what's relatable. The middle is what's relatable. That's where people are like, man, I'm struggling with this. And so now I like to show like, hey, I found this recipe and it tastes cheesy and yummy and this and that, but it's lower calorie and it's high protein. And like, so I think it's important to show people like not just the perfect finish, but also like what got you there. When I got a divorce, he disappeared. Like I had just started to get on the scene in real estate, and I didn't want anyone to know that I was broken. And I really felt like if people knew that I had gotten a divorce, they wouldn't want to work with me, because who wants to work with a divorced realtor? I was 26 years old when I met him, and when I married him, I was 26. And I just honestly thought like people would judge me and nobody would want to work with a divorced realtor. And so for 3 years, I pretended like I had a perfect life, perfect job, perfect hair, perfect car, everything was perfect. I was paycheck behind a paycheck. I was borrowing money from everybody I knew. I was drinking way too much alcohol, just to be transparent with you guys. I was not taking care of myself, and I ended up in the hospital with dehydration because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was putting everybody else's needs in front of my own, my family, my friends, my community, my clients. And so I decided that I was like, screw this. Like, I can't keep living like this. And so I made a post on social media, and I don't know if any of you guys remember this, if you've been following me long enough, but I made a post on social and I was like, hey, you guys, I want to apologize to you because I have not been honest with you. I got a divorce, and I thought that if I told you what I've been going through, that you guys would judge me and not be kind. But I've realized that like my happiness matters more than anything else. So I got a divorce, and for the last 3 years, I've hid it from you guys, but it's eating me up inside, and I'm not actually happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on this 90-day journey, and I'm going to find the best version of me. And I don't know what it looks like yet, but if you're down, I'm taking you along for the ride. And for 3 years, I did not make that post. For 3 years, I pretended everything was perfect. And you know what happened when I finally let it out? Freedom and inner peace and happiness and joy, and my business blew up, you guys. Yes, exactly. I took the mask off. My business blew the heck up because all of a sudden I was showing up as the best version of myself, but the real me, not the me that I thought people wanted to see. And I think that's what's really tricky with social media, is we think we have to have this perfect image, but all that does is it tears us down. And it's like, it's doing a disservice to us, but also everyone around us, because if they don't know you, then they can't connect with you. And people want to work with people who they want to be with. And yes, David just said that's probably when I met my perfect man. I literally believe that those 3 years of personal growth that I did is what made me the person I am to attract a man like my husband. I wouldn't have been ready for him before. I didn't love myself. I was doing things for the wrong reason. And like, I, just to be totally honest with you guys, like I used to, this sounds like really weird to admit out loud, but I used to chase the stage. Like at Keller Williams, I just wanted to be on stage. I was like, I'm going to work super hard so I can get on stage. I want Gary to interview me. I want to be on stage. It was like my full focus. I don't know why. I thought that once I got on stage, I'd made it. So I got on stage and I interviewed. And you know what happened when I walked off that stage? My life was the exact same. Like nothing changed. It wasn't like the heavens smiled down at me and people were singing. I got off stage and I had some people that tagged me in a picture that was 24 hours and then it's over. And I was like, huh, like that was my goal. And I realized that like I was putting too much importance on the things outside and not enough inside. And I think social media can be this like beautiful place that can empower you and add a lot of value to you, but it also can like chew you up and spit you out if you don't watch it. And so I wanted to just be like super clear on like social media for me is a relationship building place where I happen to do a lot of business, but I want to connect with people. I want to be friends with people. I want to like work with people and like my favorite thing is like after a listing appointment, they're like, okay, so that video with Henry was so cute. And I'm like, I didn't even know you saw, like, how did you see that? Like, oh, I looked you up on Facebook, girl. I know they looked me up on Facebook. I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of what I put out there, but I always want to lead with that relationship. Okay, I feel like I'm talking too much and I need like 3 more hours with you guys. So let me just like quick stop talking about all my stories and just like get to it. Okay, respond to comments twice per day. We talked about that a little bit. Make your post, hour later, connect with everybody. Hour before the end of the day, connect with everybody again. Try to just be on there 3 times a day. It might be weird in the beginning. I time block for it. I time block in my calendar for everything I do. My husband's been really helpful teaching me how to time block effectively because I get very distracted, which might be a good topic for us to dig on if anyone has struggles with time blocking. Okay, how to lead gen on social. So this is a really, really big, important thing to talk about. And I tell people, so on every weekday. So on my team, we have 5 days of the week that we do lead generation, and we have a day we do just specifically database lead gen. We have a day we do specifically for sale by owners and expired lead gen. We have a day specifically we do social media lead gen, right? We have different days of the week we do lead gen, and we have 5 different options for what we can do each of those days when we do lead gen. So like we have a whole training around it, right? Well, when we do social media lead gen, this is what it looks like. Say that I just had an anniversary with my husband and we went to Tahoe, and a bunch of people comment, happy anniversary, right? You're gonna have a bunch of people who like it and a bunch of people who comment. Most of the time, well, especially now since you've taken this class, you're gonna be commenting back to the people who commented because you wanna make sure that you take the time to acknowledge those who connect with you, right? Say that Brandon comments on my post and he's like, happy anniversary, girl, like look like a great chip. And Kim likes my post. Well, I'm gonna comment back to Brandon because he's in my time block time. But Kim is actually sitting there going, hey, Rachel, I see what you're doing. I'm watching. I'm right here. Right. But usually she's ignored because people look at likes as like a vanity metric and they're like, I got 100 likes. I look at that as an opportunity because Kim, I don't know the area that she serves. I don't know where she is. Can you put it in the chat for me, Kim, where you serve? But what happens is I want to get to know Kim. So when I'm doing a lead generation block, I go to a post that I have that's a higher producing post. I have my comments, which I've already commented back to, but my likes are a golden opportunity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Kim's page and I'm going to see what's happening in her world. And I'm going to see if her daughter just graduated from kindergarten because she's that young. And I'm going to see what's happening in her world, right? And so she likes my page. I go to hers and I see what's happening. So what I do is I will go to her page, proactively see something personal happening in her world, and I send her a private message. She likes my post. I'm private messaging her. Hey, Kim, thanks so much for connecting on my anniversary post. We had the best time in Tahoe. Oh my gosh, I saw your daughter just graduated from kindergarten. What a huge milestone for you and your family. Do you guys have any plans coming up for the rest of the year? That's how I talk to Kim about real estate. It has nothing to do with real estate because I want to get to know her on a human level. I want to know if we have anything in common. And when I ask Kim about her daughter, what's she going to do? She'll ask me about me. And we're going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in a private message. And now we're connecting as friends. And eventually, when the transition feels right, it might be same day, it might be same week, sometimes same month, depends on how long it takes people to write back. I'll say something to the effect of, Kim, I really have appreciated getting to know you on a personal level. And I feel like we super align in our personal lives, which makes me think we'd probably align in our business lives as well. I don't have a great referral partner in Katy, Texas. Do you have one in Northern California? Guys, over 100 referrals every year. This is how it happens. I build relationships with these people. You can take a screenshot of this. That's the script that you're going to use. But that's how I build these relationships. I feel like stressed out because I don't have a lot of time left and I need to hurry. Okay.
You can, Rachel, it's up to you. If you have a hard stop, and you need to go, but if anybody wants to stay and you want to take more time, I'll leave that up to you.
Is that okay? Okay. I just want to get through the model and I don't want to like skimp out on them.
Yeah. No,
okay,
this is wonderful. So as long as you want to stay and people want to stay, then keep going.
Okay. I won't take too much of your guys' time.
We'll share the whole recording later. So if you have to jump off now, if anybody has a hard stop, we're going to have the recording. So if you miss the last 15 minutes, if she goes over, we'll give that to you. So don't worry about that. So yeah,
okay.
take your time.
So okay, thank you.
Oh my God, thank you for everything. You're amazing. All right, I'm going to go back on mute.
Okay. Okay, so top 25. So every single month on my real estate team, our team is responsible for coming up with their top 25. So what the top 25 is like, I'm trying to give you a system around how you do this. Okay. You're going to have 5 different things you post about. You're going to post first thing in the morning, right? 80% of the time you're posting personal, 20% is going to be business. Now, every month you're going to have a homework assignment. You're going to pull 25 names of people that you're already friends with on social, but you're not seeing your content. The current algorithm only has you seeing about 7 to 10% of your friends' stuff. 7 to 10%, you guys. 7 to 10%. If you are wanting to see more of your people, the max you can get to right now is 40%. Like, think about when you look at your stories, you see the same people over and over, the same posts, the same things. It's because of the algorithm. The way you get out of that is your top 25. So it's a two-step process. First thing you're going to do is every month you're going to take 25 names. 25 names of people you're already friends with that you are not seeing their content, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to say, well, who are these 25 people? Could be, I like to do themes, right? 25 local business owners, 25 realtors from around the country, 25 past clients. So you're going to pick 25 names every month, okay? And then this is exactly what you do. It's called my rule of 555. So 5 minutes before you make a post, you're going to comment on 5 people's post, a comment of 5 words or more. So 5 minutes before you make the post, you comment on 5 people's post, a comment of 5 words or more. Who are these 5 people, you guys? They're from your list of your top 25. You want to get in front of intentionally get in front of the right people. You got to proactively do it. So you're going to go to those 25 names and you're going to pick 5 of them before you make a post. And you're going to comment on 5 of their posts, a comment of 5 words or more. So like the way in my world, when I make my reels in the morning or I make a post in the morning, I go on, I do my 555, I go into my Google Keep, I post my post, and then I'm done for the day. Hour later, I go back in and I connect with people, but like my contribution's out there. And for me, once I get my contribution out there for the day, I'm like, I did my part, I'm good. And then I can chill. And then it's not stressful. And I've built it. And like, there's so much more to this. I actually have an 8-week masterclass I teach on social media and audits and all the things. But I will tell you that like this system works no matter what you're doing. And you know, a lot of people are nervous on like how this whole thing goes down, but I promise you, if you start to just start small and you're like, okay, I have my 5 passions. I'm going to start by posting 2 personal posts a week and 1 business post a week. Okay. Rachel said to do this. Like, and like I said, if you get stuck, like Google your topic and you'll see, Google it through Instagram. So like at the search bar, not actual Google, and it will give you ideas. And then public versus private. I will tell you that if you want to build a business through social media, you've got to have a public page. You can't have it private, because if someone wants to see me and they click on my page and it's private and they're like, oh, I'll follow her. Well, by the time I actually accept their friend request or their follow, they have no idea who I am because they forgot who I forget. Like when I'm done here, I'm gonna forget all about this in like 10 seconds. Like I'm so on to the next thing. And that's how everyone is. Like, think about how if someone meets you at your open house, and they walk out the door, and then most realtors, you meet them on open house on Sunday, you'll follow up on Monday. They ghost you on Monday. They don't even know who you are. They don't care who you are. They went to have breakfast, lunch, they forgot about you. They have a life, whatever. Like, I reach out to people right after my open house. My open house is not over till I've lead generated, connected with all the people. Then I connect with them again on Monday. I've added them to my drip campaign. I like do my whole thing. On YouTube, I have a video that you guys can watch that actually you also can go to, if you go to my Instagram, there was a reel where I talk about how I got a $1.7 million buyer from an open house. It's an 18-minute video. If you comment open house on that, it's an 18-minute video. But I'll give you like the 4 questions that I asked to convert a client at an open house. Like all my systems are in part of that. And it's 18 minutes if you guys want to watch it later. I think I'm like almost out of time. Yeah, we're almost out of time. Okay. Let's talk hashtags real quick and then we'll get out and then I'll do a little Q&A and then I got a jet. So hashtags. So at the moment, for most accounts, you still can do 30 hashtags. They're testing out in certain states right now and certain locations doing like limiting you to 5 hashtags. But at the end of the day, most of us are still able to use 30 hashtags. I think about hashtags as like little arrows pointing to my content. So I have 30 hashtags. So you know how I have 5 passions? I have 30 hashtags for each passion saved in my Google Keep. So when it comes time to make a post, I can just pull those hashtags and pop them on the post. I only use it on Instagram. You don't need hashtags on Facebook. They don't make a difference. They're cute, but they don't make a difference. It is more a feature on Instagram and TikTok. I use an app called Hashtag Expert that helps me find the most trending hashtags. But again, I've got other stuff that I do. I'm not allowed to sell anything to you guys, but if you have questions after about like support in the social space for reels and stuff, reach out to me. Okay, so Carissa said, how do you get the open house video? So if you go to my reels on Instagram, just scroll down till you find one that says, I got a $1.7 million buyer for my open house, steal my system. And if you go to that reel and comment open house, then I'll send you the whole system on it. It's an 18-minute video. Okay, this is where you guys can find me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Obviously the numbers need to be updated. Oh, it's from last year. So it's 11,900 followers, but now it's a lot more than that. But they're real. I don't pay for my followers. I like to earn them organically through building relationships. But you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube under Rachel Adams Lee. And then if you go to my YouTube channel and you hit that subscribe button, I do free coaching all the time on there. You're super duper welcome to snag watch it, snag it. You can snag my video. You can watch my video. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm going to go get my babies, but I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for having me in the group. You guys are so wonderful and welcoming. And I'm sorry that I've never posted and I've just quietly watched you guys, but twice I've meant to comment or post and then I deleted it. I will make a post. I promise. But I'm in Northern California. So right now I'm in Roseville. This is my cute office. I can show you. I have like 3 offices. So we went from 4 agents to 19 agents in the last few months, but this is my office right here. She's real cute. That's where I sit. All right, you guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.